Hello, my fellow YouTubers. So, what we have today is a continuation of the Alice Pack project. And what we have here is the other half of the Alice Pack that I basically recycled and asked the tailors for a few mods here and there to basically make a sleep system carrier out of it. Now, here's the lid that had to be reattached. As you can see, the stitching really nicely done. And for starters, the tailor basically suggested I should get some fabric here and have the threads kind of sticking out here. It should have been covered basically with a bit of cloth, strip of cloth. And yeah, I'm trying to film here, but yeah, I kind of have a little thing, a little furball wandering around. So basically, yeah, I have to say the quality of the stitching was excellent, and this idea just makes it look really, really neat, because it wasn't enough to just basically use a lighter and seal the ends, because they would just keep fraying nonetheless. And you don't want to burn too much, obviously, because then the material will just catch on fire. And yeah, and then just give you like an uneven finish. So yeah, after lightly using a lighter on the ends here, the tailor suggested I should have this little kind of material, strip of cloth to finish the whole sides, basically the other half. And yeah, I have to say it looks really, really good. Some of it was like olive drab, whereas another was a bit more coyote, but I can find enough length of olive drab. But I have to say, like around here, especially where the lid is, it looks really neat. So it doesn't give it a crappy look at all. One thing though is that I realized that the flaps, or rather the radio pouches, kind of overlap, and I kind of expected this to happen, but I was still aiming for something basically that you can close off, but as you can see, this is far too close. So if anything, I could probably do away with this buckle and just use the strip of fabric that the strip of webbing that comes with the radio pouch, and just tie it off on both points, or just leave it like so, even, because when you open these flaps, as you can see here, it's been sealed off, or rather sewn on, right at the end of the radio pouch. And then I left the rest as is, because obviously you need to get in there. Here's the basically MBC carrier that I made into another sleep system carrier for my ACU works, but inside I have the sleeping bag. So yeah, just to kind of fill this thing out, it works perfectly in terms of the size for an extra sleep system, not just a sleeping bag. There's room to spare. I mean, you could probably fit at least the bivy bag in here as well. But yeah, so the idea was to have these two flaps, slightly overlap around here. Let's see if this thing focuses. So, just a little bit, so that this whole system could work with a buckle. But yeah, it's just the thing is, it overlaps far more. So I have to say, it doesn't really bother me, actually, because it gives a nice enough surface, to kind of cover up the contents of the contents of this pack. So, you know, the sleeping bag. And then, boom, look at this generous lid. That'll just do everything. That'll do the rest of it. And then after that, obviously, come back with the webbing. And in this case, I probably won't bother with a buckle mod here, just because it's an extra sleep system carrier. So, you know, once you strap it in, you're not exactly going to need to go in there, you know, as often. So I'll just stick with the standard Alice buckles. And yeah, I guess this video was about showcasing this project, and it came out in some cases better than I expected. Like the stitching was amazing, actually, really nicely done. But obviously I don't have that feature anymore to kind of unclip it, you know, use the buckle, unclip it like so, secure it, just because, you know, the radio pouches are just far more generous, far longer. So, you know, the other, as you can see, the other webbing here kind of comes to a point where the other loop would be overlapping this loop. And yeah, as you can see right there. So if that's there, yeah, so it ends around here. So okay, so it's not too bad, I guess. You know, it's just what can I say? It's just the way it is, and I'm just gonna have to live with it. But other than that, you know, it will secure the contents of this pack. These two radio pouches. Now, that's the thing. I had a purpose for them, because until then I decided not to use them, because I didn't want to add more pouches on the Alice pack, but rather use the other half of the chopped up Alice pack and, you know, recycle it and make something out of it. And I have to say, I'm actually really pleased with the results. So yeah, what can I say? If you have a couple of old Alice packs lying around, you know, and you want to turn it into a badass pack, consider something like this. And, you know, you basically got yourself a Malice pack. So yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this other part concerning this project, and I'll see you on the next one.